Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel or just not yet subscribed, my name is Brittany. This is Sebastian, and we are going to be telling you the true story of Rapunzel today. So, Rapunzel was actually modeled after an actual girl. Everybody knows or I guess most people know the story of Rapunzel. A beautiful girl with long golden hair is trapped in a tower by a witch. A prince or a guy comes and finds the tower, climbs up Rapunzel's hair, they fall in love, and he saves her. However, the legend is a little bit different, and then the real story of Rapunzel is even worse. Now, the legend of Rapunzel goes, the mother wanted rampion and from the witch's garden who lived next door. So the father stole it from the witch. After the mother got it once, she wanted more of them. So when the witch caught the father, she was furious. Like, how dare you steal from my garden? Now, when the father is explaining how much this means to his wife, the witch decides to cut him a deal. She tells him that he can have as much as he wants from her garden, but they have to give her their firstborn child. So when the baby was born, the baby was forced to go to the witch. And then the witch fled with the child. So the witch ends up locking Rapunzel in a tower around the age of 10. A prince actually ends up finding her. So they fall in love, and Rapunzel actually ends up pregnant. So then the witch is furious and tells the prince that she killed Rapunzel, that Rapunzel is not there anymore. The prince is so upset with grief that he actually jumps out of the window. It did survive, but he landed on thorns, which wrecked his eyes. So he wandered blind through the woods, eating nothing but roots and berries. And he was so upset that he had lost the love of his life. So he wandered for several years until he came to a place where he recognized a voice. And come to find out, it was Rapunzel with their twin children, a boy and a girl. Rapunzel immediately recognized him, went to him, and cried. And when her tears touched his eyes, they became clear again. And he could see with them as well as he ever could. Then he took her to his kingdom where everyone was happy and they lived happily ever after. Now, the first ever written story of Rapunzel was written in the year of 1600. In this version, Rapunzel is sold to an ogre as a baby. And it was all because her mother stole some parsley. So then when Rapunzel was born, her mother was forced to give her up. She was locked in a tower all of her life. Then the Grimm brothers created their version of Rapunzel, which was in 1857, which was the version that I just explained to you guys before that. But the original version that inspired all of these versions, so the original true story, is the life of Saint Barbara. Year 1275 CE, a man named Jacobus de Vorgine recorded a story of a young woman, and her name was Barbara. Now, she lived in Italy. She was a beautiful girl, and her father, Dioscus, was a rich and powerful merchant. So her father didn't really want to disrupt anything. He kind of wanted to stay on everybody's good side, and he wanted to continue practicing traditional pagan religion of Rome. Now, he also was very aware that his daughter was quite beautiful. There were already men that were lining up to propose to her, and many of them were even princes. Now, Dioscus made a rule that men were not allowed to meet his daughter unless they went through an interview process with him first. This made Barbara very angry. She didn't like this at all. And she had an argument with him, saying that she had free will and wanted to choose the man that she was going to marry. Her father tried giving her options, thinking it was kind of like a compromise thing, and she didn't want any part of this, so she would refuse every single man that her father sent her. So since his daughter was being rebellious, and he had to leave her alone while he traveled for work, Dioscus decided to just kind of throw money at the problem. He believed that the solution was to hide Barbara away in a high tower where she was never allowed to leave. That way, she would not even have an option of disobeying him and potentially falling in love with a man while he was away. So since Barbara's father was busy traveling and working as a merchant, he hired people from the town to construct this tower and to deliver food and supplies to Barbara. She lowered her basket down the side of the tower and they would place the goods that she needed inside the basket. One day, someone left her a book that explained what Christianity was. Now, at that time, Christianity was seen as a rebellious cult. It wasn't as widespread as it is today, and that the Romans were actually trying to prevent it from taking over. So, considering how little love and affection her father truly showed her, it makes sense that she would find comfort in something like God. So when the men came to do renovations on the tower, the men were sorry for her, and they would actually let her climb down to speak with them. While they were working on the tower, Barbara asked them to make 3 windows instead of 2. Now the reason being was to represent the Holy Trinity: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Now at first, they tried telling her no because they knew it would make Dioscus angry, but Barbara somehow convinced them, so they made the 3 windows. While she was walking the grounds, she began to destroy her father's pagan idols, because in the Bible, any other god is a sin. So one day she even convinced the workers to send her a priest who came to her under the guise of being a doctor to treat an illness. He baptized her and she officially became a Christian. Now, she was fully aware that at this time this was breaking the law, and it's actually quite possible that she did this specifically just to spite her father. That she was just so angry about how he was acting, and being trapped in that tower, not being able to decide who she wanted to marry by finding true love, that she wanted to punish him in a way. Dioscus eventually returned home from his journey, and he expected that his plan for the tower to shelter his daughter from the outside world, he expected it to work flawlessly. He was in for quite a surprise. Now, he saw that Barbara climbed down the tower and destroyed his pagan idols. On top of that, he also realized that she had joined an illegal religion, and he was absolutely furious. Now, at this time, being a Christian was punishable by torture and even death. Now, he figured that somebody must have given her one of the Christian books, and so therefore that the workers knew the intention behind the 3 windows when they built them. And he figured that her baptism must have become public knowledge at this point. He knew that he was harboring a fugitive in his tower. So even though Barbara was his own daughter, Dioscus handed her to the authorities. Which, I don't know. I guess I can't really say because I didn't live in that time, but I think that is the stupidest thing that I know that I wouldn't hand Sebastian over for something like that, but I also wouldn't lock him away in a tower, so there's that. Now, he grabbed her by her long hair and dragged her to the Roman courts, where the judge asked about her crimes. She shouted that she only answers to the Lord Jesus Christ. It was clear that she was a Christian, and evident that no matter what her father tried to do to control her, he was never going to be able to. So the people began to torture her. They cut her skin with knives and threw salt in the wounds. They also burned her skin. And when she was finally weak and near death, Dioscus chopped his own daughter's head off with a sword. Now, Barbara was actually canonized as a saint. So even if someone died defending Christianity, it is a rule that nobody becomes a saint unless they performed a miracle. Now, in the Christian version of the story, Barbara flew when her father was chasing her around with a sword. If she could fly, it's weird that she didn't escape sooner. However, maybe at that point, like, she didn't know she could fly, or maybe she was granted that gift at that point. So when she was hiding, a shepherd in his field told Dioscus where to find her. Apparently, he was turned to stone immediately for kind of just like ratting her out. And when they were torturing her, Barbara was covered in this comforting fog that prevented her from feeling any sort of pain while she was being tortured. So it's also said that lightning struck and killed Dioscus immediately after he killed his daughter. So that in a way she was defended, I guess, even though she died. Now, in that version and in pictures of Barbara, she has long hair, but not quite like famous long hair that Rapunzel has. So this might be where that came from. In the Persian epic, the Shahnameh, or the Book of the Kings, from the year 1000 CE. The book tells the origin stories of all of the men who would someday become royalty. In ancient Persia, two lovers would use a secret hiding place. If they were forbidden to be together because they were from enemy countries. So kind of like Romeo and Juliet. Now, the young woman was very beautiful. She had very long and shiny black hair. She would run up to the tower and drop her hair out of the window while she waited for her lover, who was a famous king and warrior. Now, according to the legend, he shined like silver. So some artists actually depict him with a head of premature silver hair. So just like in the Grimm Brothers version, Rapunzel ends up pregnant out of wedlock. And now, she is also the daughter of the leader of Babylonia. And the guy was a Persian war hero. So they were sworn enemies, so they knew that their fathers would have never allowed them to get married. So when her parents find out, they are really angry, but a fortune teller actually makes it all okay because she claims that the unborn child was destined to achieve amazing things and could even conquer the planet. So their baby actually was so large that she was in excruciating pain when it was time for the delivery. So according to the legend, her significant other was given a magic feather that he could actually pass over her stomach and perform a C-section without using a knife. They gave birth to a son named Rostam. And according to the legend, he ruled for 300 years fighting demons and going on some crazy adventures. So that's the true story of Rapunzel. And also how the depiction of her having this incredibly long hair might have come to be. Let me know what you guys think, and if you wanted me to do more videos on ancient fairy tales and where they were derived from. Until next time, definitely make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button. I love you guys. Bye.